Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. We're going to, of course, wait a few minutes, give people a chance to come in. Um, hope everybody's hope everybody has had a good day today. Let's see. Okay, as I said, we're just going to wait to give people a little more time to come in. So hopefully, hope everybody had a good day today. I know this week's apparently going to be a bit of a slow week news wise. Of course, I guess that's to be expected considering it's kind of the holiday week. I know a lot of kids are on. Hey Rick, how you doing, my friend? Um, Glad you're here. We're just giving people a little chance to come in before I get started. So that's good to see. Glad you could stop in before you do your show. And of course, don't forget, Rick is going to be with me this Friday, of course, for historical comic retrospect as we finish off July coverage of July of 1939. Going through some comics that went on sale from Quality Comics and United Feature Syndicate. Anyways, all right. So let's see. Well, yeah. So, Rick, how's your day going? Of course, feel free to share the link to your book if you want as well. Hmm. Yep. Anyways, well, that leaves a few of us in here. Hmm. All right, so I guess we can kind of get going a little bit here. So what's on tap for tonight? I'm gonna focus more on anime news tonight. We're gonna just go over to CBR. I'll focus more on anime news. There's some interesting stuff that I saw coming out earlier today. First off, one of the first stories we're going to cover, of course, is the passing of one of Studio Pierrot's founders. For those of you who may not know, Studio Pierrot is, of course, the anime studio responsible for such classics as Bleach. Um, let's see, Bleach, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Flame of Recca. So, plus we got a lot more to go over. So, since we do in fact have some people in here, just gonna go ahead and get started. And as always, you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Also, also, if if anything catches your attention, feel free to comment on the material that we cover or ask questions. I'll try to do my best to answer questions as they come. So with that, let's go ahead and get started here. Let's go right into it. All right, so with that, go ahead and get started here. So here's the first article we're going to look at here. Yuji Nunokawa, Studio Pero founder, dies at 75. Studio Pero, as I explained earlier, Studio Pero, of course, is the studio behind Bleach, Naruto, Yu Hakusho, Flame of Recca, among others. Studio Pero releases a statement revealing its founder and former chairman, Yuji Nunokawa, passed away on Christmas Day at the age of 75. Article by Miki Suzuki, published one day ago. So and there you see Naruto. I said Naruto is one of the anime franchises that Studio Pero handled. So Studio Pero announced that its founder, Yuji Nunokawa, died at age 75 on December 25th. The studio posted an announcement on December 26th, which was, of course, yesterday, on its official Twitter account. The statement released in Japanese and English read, quote, "It is with great sadness that we inform you of the passing of Yuji Nunokawa, the former chairman and the supreme advisor of Pero. Mr. Nunokawa passed away on December 25th. He was 75. He will be sorely missed for his leadership, commitment, and passion." According to his family's wishes, only close relatives will attend his funeral. Studio Pero will hold a memorial service for Nunokawa at a later date. Born in Sakata City in Yamagata Prefecture, Nunokawa graduated from Japan Design School in 1967. So that's 67, that's 55 years ago, for those of you who may not know. Before going on to work as an animator and technical director at Mushi Production, Studio Jack, and Tatsunoko Production. Now, Mushi Production and Tatsunoko Production are a couple, or Tatsunoko Production are a couple other pretty well-known animation studios in Japan as well. Anyways, as we continue on here, during his time at Tatsunoko Production, he worked on Time Boken, Cashin, and The Funny Judo Champion. Nunokawa went on to found Studio Ghibli in 1979, which that would make it, 43 years ago? Anyways, where he served as its chair and chief advisor in addition to working as an animator and anime director. In 2019, at the 40-year mark, his work with Studio Pero earned him Japan's Agency for Cultural Affairs Award. I'm guessing that might be kind of like a Medal of Honor here in the States, I guess. The award honors, quote, individuals who have made distinguished accomplishment in artistic and cultural activities, and rarely goes to people working in the anime and manga industries. Yeah, but I would say founding a pretty successful anime studio would warrant such an award, right? Studio Pero is Nunokawa's legacy. So let's see. I hope you're enjoying the content thus far, Rick. Haven't said anything since. But anyways, continuing on here. Let's see. Thanks to hard work and a series of hits, anime industry. Not long after its founding, the studio worked on titles such as Magical Angel, Creamy Mommy, and yes, Creamy Mommy is the way you pronounce that, believe it or not. I can just hear the jokes now. Magical Fairy Persia, Saber Rider, and Star Sheriffs. Osomatsu-kun and Kilmagure Orange Road. Most notably, Studio Pero has worked on adapting Weekly Shonen Jump titles, including Yu Yu Hakusho, as I mentioned earlier, which recently released a special Blu-ray box set ahead of its 30th anniversary, Bleach, Naruto, Beelzebub, and Black Clover. Earlier this year, the studio paid homage to Naruto as the anime celebrated its 20th anniversary, with a video called "quote unquote Road of Naruto" that reanimated iconic scenes from the series. Most recently, um, they released a compilation video of all the ninja running scenes from the studio, and I believe we did actually see that. I think we did do an art. We did go through that article a few days ago, I believe. Studio Pero has not released any information regarding Eugene Nunokawa's memorial service. So they're probably just waiting till after his family's had their service before they really do anything, because um, only close relatives are going to be allowed at the funeral. But they did say that the studio itself will also hold its own memorial service at a later point in time. So, anyways, all right. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next article. All right, so that was that last article. Let's see. Assassination Classroom. Will there ever be a third season 3? Hmm. I don't know about that one. I saw the dub version of the 2 seasons, and it it did seem like it did seem like they pretty much did a finite conclusion to it. But given Assassination Classroom's continued massive popularity, how likely is a season 3? Article by Timothy Donahue, updated 1 day ago. This is an updated article. Okay. Created by Yusei Matsui, Assassination Classroom started out as a highly successful manga comprised of 21 volumes. Besides video games and live action films, the manga was also adapted into an OVA and later an anime. Made by animation studio Lurche, the Assassination Classroom anime received nearly 50 episodes across 2 seasons. Despite how popular Assassination Classroom's anime adaptation became, there have yet to be any more episodes following season 2 back in 2016. Since there has been no continuation of the series, many have questioned if a third season will ever be made. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to go off camera here for a quick moment, but I'll put some music on for you guys. Anyways, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So here we go. You on here? Assassination Classroom had a very quirky premise. An odd and original series, Assassination Classroom takes place after an octopus-like alien destroys most of the moon and threatens to do the same to the whole planet in a year's time. But before then, he mysteriously decides um, to take on the role of a high school teacher as his student compete to assassinate him. With the entire world at stake, the Japanese government have offered a prize of $100 million to the student who successfully takes him out. However, the students come up against some hurdles in their plan to assassinate their alien teacher, who they have dubbed Koro Sensei. He possesses a multitude of powers, including regeneration and cloning, making him incredibly difficult to kill. Likewise, the students themselves grow to like Koro Sensei as he helps them with their studies and personal problems. Even with other assistants trying to take Koro out, the threat to the Earth still exists for as long as he remains teacher. Why a third season of Assassination Classroom is highly unlikely. Since Assassination Classroom Season 2 covered the most important parts of the manga, it appears that the show won't be getting a third season. Whereas some anime adaptations have to make up their own ending, the story, Assassination Classroom simply adapted the manga's own ending. Basically, what they're saying is that in the two seasons they had, um, in the two seasons they had, um, they basically covered the entirety of the manga. So that's why it's highly unlikely. Now they could do an OVA, an original video animation. Find someone. Maybe if people still liked it so much that they wanted to follow what happened to the students when they got older. That's always a possibility. But um, it helped that said manga officially ended a few months before the anime's final episode aired, and thus the anime was able to take out the excess and hone in the true meat of the story. The show's 22 episode first season adapted roughly around half of the manga story, giving season 2 enough room to succinctly wrap up the dangling narrative threads, as the Assassination Classroom anime has already told a complete story. There doesn't need to be a follow up season. Yeah, basically, that's pretty much what it comes down to. The reason there may be a lot of people who are saying they want a third season, but there's no content for a third season. You now theoretically, as I just mentioned, they could do an OVA. They could just take the characters and just make up a new story for an original video animation. You know, but I don't know if I don't see that happening either. You know, it could. I mean, there's always a chance. If it's popular enough and there's enough of a demand, possible that people might, you know, they might like it's not really. Like, there's ways as we continue on here. And as always, guys, if you can remember to like and share this stream, it's more fun with you. That'd be help. And also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment or ask questions about it, and I'll do my best to answer said questions. Let me see what else we had. Looks like I got a good profile. Happy Toon reveals why villainous stories are popular in webtoons. All right. Tappy Toon reveals why villainous stories are popular in webtoons. Tappy Toon is seeing a significant rise in popularity for villainous stories, and the co-founders have a few ideas as to why readers are interested. Article by Hilary Long, published 1 day ago. Stories centered around villainesses are quickly rising to become one of the most popular genres in the webcomic industry, and there's a reason for it. Now, Grant, I know we've covered over the last year here a couple of villainous animes already. My Life as a Villainess, and then there was another one that just recently debuted this past anime fall season. So, um, fall anime season. Some of these stories are a subgenre of isekai, where the female protagonist dies and finds themselves transported into the body of the villainess from the book they were reading. Others have the villainess reincarnated a few years before their untimely death, with the protagonist determined to avoid meeting the same ending. One of the biggest webcomic platforms worldwide, Tappytoon, is home to numerous such works like Father, I don't want this marriage, What It Takes to Be a Villainess, and The Villainess Lives Again. In an interview with Anime Corner, Sun Bang and Ernest Wu, the founders of Tappytoon, spoke about why they believed there had been a growing interest in stories with a villainous protagonist. Anyways, again, I got to go off camera here for a moment. I'll be right back. Let me see. All right, I'm back. Anyways, getting back to the article here. Readers appreciate fresh stories. While villainous stories appear to be the current trend, Dane believes the enthusiasm and passion for these types of stories come from, quote, originally from story and character building, unquote. Um, Dane said, quote, I don't think it's limited to a certain genre or trend. The reason why paid webtoons are so popular now is that the stories are fresh and new that readers have never seen before. Unquote. Wu agreed and added, quote, stories about villainesses, royalty, kings, queens, etc. will always be around. I don't think they are going away. I mean, yeah, I mean, royalty is kind of part of the fantasy genre, you know. I mean, look at some of the pretty well known medieval style RPG, you know, fantasy anime out there like Record of Lotus War, Berserk, you know, Arslan Kingdom, you know. Those are just to name a few. Wu have theories on what genres might see a rise in popularity. Quote, I do think, in brackets here, boys love and in brackets, girls love are on the rise and will gain even more ground. Action and fantasy titles tend to have a lot of world building, and the ones that do it well will cross over to other mediums, such as animations and games, like Solo Leveling. But in the near future, the dramas with a hint of fantasy or K dramas will dominate more quickly. Happy Tune grew in only 6 years. Launched in 2016, Tappy Tune has amassed 7 million members from 241 countries and territories as of November 2022. Most of their readership comes from millennials, Gen Z, and female readers. 78.6 of their readership comes from the US, with 74% in the 18 to 24 year range. The platform initially offered webcomics, but has extended its services to include web novels. In August 2021, quote, having both the novel and webtoon versions creates a synergy so that readers from one version can easily try out the other format. And they end up enjoying both, Sun Soon said. According to Tappy Tune's infographic, the platform's top genres for the US are romance at 57%, boys love at 17%, action at 12%, and other genres 14%. Now, just in case you don't know, boys love is what they also call yaoi. Kind of, I guess the only way to put it here is gay romance comics. And girls love is what they call yuri, and that's lesbian romance comics. So those are what boys love and what they mean by boys love and girls love. Or just in case you didn't know what those terms meant. Um, anyways, to finish off the article here, um, let's see. Action webcomic Solo Leveling, written by Gong and illustrated by Dubu, came out on top as the most popular webcomic in the US, followed by Boys Love comic Cherry Blossoms after Winter, and lastly romance drama Light and Shadow. Solo Leveling will receive an anime adaptation that premieres in 2023, and Cherry Blossoms After Winter had a live action drama adaptation in 2022. Tappy Tune is available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. So there we go with that one. All right, so let's see what else. All right, here's an interesting little profile piece right here we can get into. Huh. The best anime series with male Dundere characters and where to watch them. Now, I'm not exactly sure what Dundere is, but they'll probably tell us in the article here. Okay. Dundere characters are cuddly and lovable with their timid but kind personalities. Okay. And these animes shine a spotlight right on them. Now, these are the male versions of these characters. By article by Lewis Kenmer, published one day ago. Anyways, some anime fans base their preferences on classy literary genres, such as favoring high-tech science fiction anime or watching heartfelt romances. Other fans might seek a story that features a certain kind of character. Some watch a series for its best girls, like colorful Genki girls. Um, but that applies to anime boys too, including tenderes. The yandere anime character is a shy but kind person who's soft-spoken and earnest, which makes them adorably innocent and cuddly. It's often yandere girls who get the most attention, like quintessential quintuplets Miku Nakano and Komi Can't Communicate's Shoko Komi. But some fans also love yandere boys, who make ideal romantic partners with their compassion and a heart of gold. Plenty of anime series ditch the himbo, the he bimbo basically, and bad boy stereo archetype, favor of starring these cuddly male dunderes. My Dress Up Darling is tailor made for the female gaze. My Dress Up Darling is a romantic seinen anime that stood out in the winter of 2022 anime season. So that was earlier this year, basically. I think we're in the fall season now. As a surprise smash hit, this anime had obvious appeal with the beautiful and friendly cosplay enthusiast Marine Kitagawa, but the fan service was more than skin deep. This anime also appealed to what's called the female gaze, um, meaning that Dandere protagonist Wakane Gojo was magnetic as a gentle, emotionally open boy whom any girl could trust as her boyfriend. But put another way, Gojo the Dandere has fan service for the heart. He is all about kindness, humble hard work. and tailoring to make others happy, not proving himself as some macho guy on a motorbike. Bad boys still have their appeal in anime, but Gojo is a refreshing change of pace and proves there's more than one way to express healthy masculinity. My Dress Up Darling can be streamed on Crunchyroll. Again, feel free to comment, guys, if anything catches your attention. Let's see now. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting proves Toru isn't a monster after all. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting was a comedy anime in summer 2022 anime season, and its protagonist, Toru Kirishima, was not only a lovable male tsundere, but also a gap moe character. That's because, for all his tough guy mobster antics and scary expressions, Toru is a gentle and selfless fellow deep down who just wants to form loving connections with other people. He was inspired in his boyhood by his mother's kindness, and his monster side is just a tough outer shell, not his true self. Toru once worried that he really was a monster as he got confused between his two halves. Then he got a grip and accepted himself as a lovable Dundere after all. Toru gets shy surprisingly easily, too, especially when we visited Yaeka's school and noticed that other students' moms watching him with interest. Oh boy! The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting can be streamed on Crunchyroll. Demon Slayer shows what a loud Dundere looks like. Uh, Demon Slayer's co-star Zenitsu Agatsuma isn't a traditional Dundere, and he contracts the archetype's image of being a soft-spoken, timid character. However, Zenitsu still has appeal as a relatable underdog under his too loud exterior. For all his annoying shouting and panicking, he is a truly lovable Dundere because he has little faith in himself but is slowly learning to be brave and follow his friend Tanjiro's inspiring example. Danderes are often insecure or passive people who just need a strong role model to emulate, or at least inspire them. And such is the case between Zenitsu and Tanjiro. Zenitsu didn't believe in himself at first, but with his love interest Nezuko watching him and Tanjiro and Inosuke setting a good example, the Dandere Zenitsu must step up and prove what he can really do when it matters most. Demon Slayer can be streamed on Crunchyroll, Hulu, and Netflix. Excuse me one more time. I'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to put I usually put the music on first. All right, I'm back. So let's continue on with the article then. So, Talent Voice shows a Yandere boy trying to make amends. Talent Voice is a beloved anime movie based on the seven-volume manga series of the same name. This heartfelt drama romance is about two modern teens trying desperately to understand and communicate clearly with one another, all in the context of bullying and forgiveness. Shoya Ishida was a troublemaker in elementary school, bullying the hard of hearing Shoko Nishimiya till she had to change schools. Now in 12th grade, Shoya is trying to reinvent himself and make up for his past mistakes to Shoko. He's a Dandere because he humbled himself as an ex-bully and no longer seeks attention. And he feels terribly insecure because of his intense guilt. Shoya isn't sure if he even deserves a second chance with Shoko or anyone else. Fortunately for him, Shoko is a generous girl who just might overlook the past, and perhaps she never hated Shoya at all. Silent Voice can be streamed on Prime Video. So there we go. There's that. There's that article. Let's see where we're at here on time. 43 minutes, so we're making some good time here. Anyways. Alright, so moving on to the. That might be a potential spoiler. Let's see. Sword's finale reveals the real reason I'm. Okay, that's a spoiler. Spoiler. Thing that says finale is obviously a spoiler. Oh, that's revealing release window. That's not a spoiler. Alright, so. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War reveals Part 2's release window. To the excitement of fans, Viz Media confirms when Bleach Thousand Year Blood War Part 2, The Separation, will hit our screens next year. Article by Haley McCullough, published 9 hours ago. Bleach Thousand Year Blood War Part 2, The Separation, is coming our way. According to two Twitter posts, one by Viz Media and the other by the official Bleach anime account, the second part of the wildly popular sequel series will debut in July 2023. Beyond the exciting news, the post also featured a teaser visual that sees protagonist Ichigo Kurosaki dual-wielding massive swords with the tagline, quote, "The blade is me," unquote. There we go. Thousand Year Blood War adapts the manga's final arc. Thousand Year Blood War premiered back in October and continues the story of the original Bleach anime, which first aired from October 2004 to March 2016, producing 366 episodes. Adapting the story arc of the same name from Tide Kubo's best-selling manga. The plot depicts an intense and bloody feud between the Soul Society and the Vandenreich, a secret Quincy empire. The conflict has massive negative consequences for several fan favorite characters like 4th Division Captain Retsu Unohana, as well as 6th Division Captain Byakuya Kuchiki. Many members of the cast for the original Bleach anime have reprised their iconic roles for Thousand Year Blood War. In terms of the English dub of the series, Johnny Young Bosch, who is of course one of his work in Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, once again stars as Ichigo, alongside Michelle Ruff, Sword Art Online Alicization, War of the Underworld as Rukia Kuchiki, Dan Warren, who was also in Fist of the North Star as Byakuya, Kate Higgins from Code Geass Lelouch the Rebellion, as well as Naruto. She's Sakura Haruno as Unohana, and Quentin Flynn as Cone. Quentin Flynn, who provided the voice of uh, um, the Rukia Umino in the original Naruto story, and Shippuden. For whatever reason, they didn't bring him back for Naruto. But anyway, Bleach fans' excitement. Confirming the second part of Thousand Year Blood War will undoubtedly excite Bleach fans who are already celebrating the sequel's success. Many have created impressive fan-made content to share their excitement and joy over the new anime, particularly cosplay. Recently popular cosplayer Kagi Koss um, took a swing at bringing Ichigo to life with an incredibly accurate costume that perfectly captures Lauren shared protagonist like the style. Similarly, costume maker master Izamitan um, posted pictures of their terrifying interpretation of Unohana. However, not everything about Thousand Year Blood War has excited longtime Bleach fans. Most notably, many were understandably disappointed when Viz Media did not reach out to voice actor David Lodge about returning as the bloodthirsty Zaraki Kenpachi. Despite the actor's interest in the part, Lodge took to Twitter to share his disappointment, writing, quote, "So sad for the fans I was willing, for low pay, to return to just make fans of Bleach happy." Patrick Seitz from Attack on Titan now voices Kenpachi. Now, Patrick Seitz in the series also had voiced Ichigo's father. I believe his name was Ishin Kurosaki as well. So, Bleach Thousand Year Blood War is available exclusively on Hulu. So, and the reason, from what I understand, why David Lodge had originally left the series was over pay issues. That's what originally. Oh, here's another article about Tappy Tune here. This one. Anyway, we continue on now, and always feel if you can like and share the thing, if you more happy friendly people here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything that grabs your attention, feel free to comment or ask questions. I'll try to do my best to answer the questions as best I can. Happy Tune is reaching out to female readers neglected by Marvel and DC. We had another article about Happy Tune earlier. Marvel and DC comics are often geared toward male readers, and Happy Tune hopes to create comics for female readers to enjoy and feel inspired by it. Hence, earlier the rise in villainous stories article that we read earlier. Um, let's see, article by Hillary Leong published 8 hours ago. All right. Happy Tune hopes to create a space for female readers to feel empowered through their webcomics. According to an infographic created by Happy Tune, 74% of their readership in the U.S. is female. When asked in an Anime Corner interview why they think that is, the founders of Happy Tune, CEO Sun Bong, and Chief Product Officer Ernest Wu admitted this was intentional on their part. Quote, "We made a conscious effort to reach female readers, who we felt were somewhat overlooked by the U.S. comic and superhero industry at large, dominated by the big two, in brackets Marvel and DC," unquote, Wu said. Quote, "We knew female readers wanted something different, something that never existed for them before in the mainstream." Um, that's not entirely true. And I'll go into that in a moment. We knew we could deliver that, like really well-made female-centered stories and comics. Now, I do have to correct them on that. Like, yes, in recent years, maybe even over the past 30 or 40 years, that they have an argument. But there was a time when even DC and Marvel, in whatever incarnation they were in, DC as national publications and Marvel as Timely, and then other companies like Fawcett and stuff like that did actually publish romance comics. I highlighted one last night on the history segment, Sweethearts. So you know, so they may have a case if they're talking about more recently, but that has not always been the case because the companies have at times, have published comics that are more like female centric, where you do have more like romance involved, So just a little tidbit there for that. Obviously, they're probably talking more about more modern times, obviously. But anyways, uh, according to ICV2, a report conducted in 2017 revealed that 63% of comics and graphic novels are purchased by men and 37% by women. While the number of female readers has increased over the years and more female heroes are taking up the mantle, comics are still mainly written by men rather than women. Comics Beat reported that 17.2% of female creators made up DC's overall percentage, with 82.8% male creators from July to December 2018. Marvel had 16.3% female creators and 83.7% male creators. Tappy Tune readers connect with strong women. Bong found that female readers connected with one particular type of female protagonist. Quote, "More importantly, many of our stories are about strong-willed, smart leading women out to take charge of their life and love, protect someone, and right some wrong, whether personal or a more significant issue." Bong said. Quote, they are literally the center of their stories or working towards it, utilizing all the tools and skills that have to shape their worlds how they see fit. Empowerment, inspiration, catharsis, and even humor. It's all there, and it resonates with our female readers. Unquote. Ong cited protagonists from Tappy Tune works such as Light and Shadow, Father, I Don't Want This Marriage, and This Broken Ring as examples of strong female leads. Light and Shadow follows a lowly servant named Edna, who must marry a duke, but despite her status, she may be the noblest of them all. Father, I Don't Want This Marriage follows the villainous Juvelian, who is left to die a pitiful death. Determined to change the course of her preordained fate, she decides to enact a dating contract with her father's student. In this broken ring, 6-year-old Inez chooses Carcel as her fiance, which the latter avoids for 15 years. But Inez doesn't mind as she's counting on the marriage failing. Tappy Tune is available to download from the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Oh, there we go with that one. Before I move on, I need to go off camera here for another moment. Hey, Rick. Let's see what you got to say here. Heck, Archie Comics stories been doing romance comics with Betty and Veronica and other kids. That's true, Rick. Yeah, I mean, and they're still around. And I've highlighted them on some of the history segments too. They're even still around, doing like all kinds of romance stories, more female-centric stories. So, granted, they do have a certain point where the bigger part of the market is superhero stories in comics, but there have always been, still a certain amount of like drama and romance stories in there too. Anyways, let me see now. And thank you for the like and share. Do appreciate that. Anyways, I do have to go off camera here again for a moment, so I'll be right back, but I'll put some music on while I'm gone. All right, I'm back. So let's go on and see what more we can, what more stories we can find here. Our man brings magic of his book, and he brings the magic. He says, okay, this sounds like an interesting story here. Hunter x Hunter fan brings the magic in Hisoka cosplay. Talented cosplayer Sean Pai Chen presents his colorful take on one of Hunter x Hunter's most iconic characters, former Phantom Troop member Hisoka. Article by Haley McCullough, published 8 hours ago. Let's see. Costume maker extraordinaire Sean Pai Chen has brought Hunter x Hunter's Grim Reaper to life. Sean Pai Chen um, posted picture of their impressive cosplay on Twitter, and both the outfit and background highlight Hisoka's pink heavy color scheme. The former member of the Phantom Troop isn't the only anime icon the talented cosplayer has recreated in costume form. Their Twitter account features images of other equally impressive cosplays for characters like Yu-Gi-Oh's Seto Kaiba, JoJo Bizarre Adventures Jotaro Kujo, Kitty Infinity's Adam. Hunter x Hunter's frequent publication delays. Yoshihiro Togashi's Hunter x Hunter manga first appeared in Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump in March 1998, so 24 years ago, and has been sporadically released in the magazine ever since. The series has experienced frequent delays throughout the publication run, which may, in part, be due to Togashi's attention to detail. The mangaka recently took to Twitter to explain how it sometimes takes up to a week for him to revise a single panel. However, more prominent contributors to delays in Hunter x Hunter's release schedule are the hiatuses related to Togashi's health concerns. Notably, according to information in the latest issue of Weekly Shonen Jump, Hunter x Hunter is reportedly entering another hiatus. Quote, we have talked with Togashi Sensei about his state of health. And as a result, we have decided to publish Hunter x Hunter in a format other than weekly serialization. Togashi Sensei will continue to write the following chapters, and the editorial department will continue to support him until the completion of the manga. Unquote. So they're probably expanding it out to where he can get proper rest and tend to his health concerns and the announcement states. So Hunter x Hunter tells the story of a young boy named Gon Freak, who has a goal of following in his father's footsteps, becoming a world-renowned hunter. Eventually, he sets off on a journey both behind his father, who left Gon when he was a small child, and to pursue his dreams. Along the way, he encounters a colorful collection of rival hunters and paranormal occurrences. Over 84 million copies of Togashi's series sold globally to date, making it one of the best-selling manga of all time, alongside Hiromu Arakawa's Fullmetal Alchemist and Hiro Masahima's Fairy Tale. Moreover, Hunter x Hunter has inspired a plethora of adaptations across mediums, including multiple anime. theatrical productions, movies, and video games. The enduring popularity of the series, according to many of the fans, is due in part to the consistent um, subversion of classic shonenship. The Hunter x Hunter manga is distributed in North America by Viz Media. Okay, so there we go with that one. Uh, so what else are we doing? One Punch Man reveals Blizzard is connected to Psychos and it may. Okay. All right, here's one. Not part of another classic long running series. Tenchi Muyo announces GXP spin-off anime. Studio X Noah is creating a new anime inspired by Tenchi Muyo GXP, a popular spin-off of Studio AIC's iconic sci-fi comedy series Tenchi Muyo. Article by Renee Senza Timor, published 7 hours ago. All right. There's Tenchi. Look like Tenchi as a young man as opposed to just a teenage boy. Iconic series Tenchi Muyo will receive another animated installment based on its spin-off Tenchi Muyo GXP. Um, this new project marks yet another expansion for the long-running Tenchi Muyo franchise, which contains numerous manga, film, and series installments, as reported by comicbook.com. This new anime, titled Tenchi Muyo GXP Paradise Beginnings Arc, commemorates the 30th anniversary of the event of the original Tenchi Muyo Ryoki series. Now, I believe that series was actually an OVA. That was an actual OVA that started the franchise. Usually, it's a manga or a light novel, but in this case, it was the OVA that started the franchise. The first season of which debuted in 1992. This new anime connects seasons 4 and 5 of Ryo Oki up to the Paradise War. In GXP, the series creators also released a brief trailer showcasing the various characters who will appear in the anime. GXP followed a different protagonist. Unlike Ryo Oki, which revolves around a teenage boy named Tenchi Masaki and his personal relationships with a group of alien girls, GXP instead follows a galaxy police officer named Seina Yamada who struggles with bad luck. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's all right. Much like Tenchi, Yamada also ends up getting involved with a small harem of women, with the key difference being that the ones he meets also have the power to transform bad luck into good luck. Yamada takes advantage of his newfound fortune to fulfill his duties as a space officer and take down the Barta pirate gang. Similar to the setup of Ryo Oki, several women vie for Yamada's affection, which makes okay. One of the things that makes Tenchi Muyo so appealing is just the interaction. That kind of harem action and the interactions that it brings about. Let's see. As the series progresses, including his friend Kiriko, a former pirate named Ryoko, and a witch named Neju. Now, I think Ryoko might be the same Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo from the original series. Directed by Shinichi Watanabe, who is also known for directing Lupin III: The Columbus Files, Tenchi Muyo GXP ran for 26 episodes from April 2002 to September 2002. Several different writers collaborated on the script for GXP, including Noboru Kimura, Hideki Shirane, Shoichi Sato of Ari Fureta from the Commonplace to the World's Strongest, Masaki Kajishima, and Yosuke Kuroda. Atsushi Okuda handled the series' character design, and Akifumi Tada created the music. Shigeru Mogi starred as, now these are the Seiryu, obviously, starred as Seina Yamada, while Kumi Sakuma, Aya Hisakawa, and Nana Mizuki star as Kiriko, Ryoko, and Neju, respectively. Nana Mizuki is a pretty well-known she's not only a pretty well-known voice actress, Seiryu, but she also has done a number of songs anime songs over the years as well, openings and endings. So, while AIC was in charge of production for GXP, Exnoa is producing Paradise Beginnings arc. Masaki Kajishima, who co-created Tenchi Muyo alongside Hiroki Hayashi, is serving on staff as the series chief supervisor. Hideki Shirane of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is writing the series script and managing script composition. No details are yet available about the series cast. Tenchi Muyo Ryooki is available via Funimation and Crunchyroll. Tenchi Muyo GXP is also available on Funimation. Now, as I remember, I think the original OVA and a number of the series from back in the 90s, they were all dubbed out in LA, and I think GXP was actually dubbed by Funimation. So, now Crunchyroll, of course. But it is, if you have a chance to catch it, you should, because it's kind of a fun series to watch. Both cases. So. Huh. My sidekicks make the best slice of life anime protagonist. How many more stories do we got before? Actually, there are quite a few here. I'm going to go off camera here for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I think that's enough of the articles for today. As we're at hour 16 now, as I told you guys, I'm trying to keep it around an hour and a half. So I think it might be a good time to start winding things down a bit. So we get into the get into the get into the wrestling wrap up here. All right. So, anyways, so some quick little news tidbits. Since returning to the WWE, Bray Wyatt did recently have his first match on a on a house show recently, taking on Jinder Mahal. You know, they believe to get it, before they have him start wrestling on TV again. He's been back, but he's been just primarily doing like more, speaking parts. But the kind of, but now it looks like they're going to look to try to start having him wrestle soon again. He hasn't apparently hasn't actually wrestled since his Wrestle 39 um, appearance. So hmm, yeah, or since his last WrestleMania appearance, as it were. So I'm gonna look to try to I'm gonna look to try to I guess they have him start wrestling on the house show. Have him wrestle some house shows before actually having to go back on TV to get him, get the ring rust off. Also, there's talk about them possibly trying to take both titles off of Roman Reigns. He's kind of been champion long enough. Just trying to figure out who they're going to elevate to those titles, the Universal and the WWE titles. Um, let's see. And I was slightly mistaken. So this Friday, last night was on last night's Raw. Of course, it was a kind of a best of show, so they didn't really have anything going on. But this Friday on SmackDown, initially I said it was going to be John Cena and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. I was actually wrong about that. Actually, it's going to be John Cena and Kevin Owens against Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. So to kind of help finish out the year there. Let's see. Also, let's see. Anything else? Guess nothing of significance there. On the AEW side of things, many fans or many as yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of John Huber's death, aka Mr. Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. Many of his peers and friends took to social media to pay tribute to him, with remarks on remembering him. Um, so with that, also in AEW news, of course, tomorrow night is Dynamite, and on tomorrow night's episode, of course, match 6 of the best of 7 series between the Elite and Death Triangle will be happening, as there'll be a Falls Count Anywhere match in which the Elite look to continue come back from a 3-1 deficit. They're right now down 3-2 as they won last week's no DQ match. Also, Samoa Joe defends the AEW TNT title against Wardlow. Top Flight. The Martin brothers, Dante and Darius Martin, take on Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley of the Blackpool Combat Club. In a women's tag match, Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale take on Anna J.S. and Ty Mello, or also known as Ty Jai. And Bryan Danielson takes on Ethan Page. Ethan Page got a little upset felt that Bryan Danielson was trying to jump over him for a AEW title shot. So that's all what's going on in AEW right now. And with that, why don't we go ahead? Today being Tuesday, December 27th, 2022, why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So, with that bearing in mind, first off, going back 60 years. Now, I showed this the other day only because I misread it as the 21st, but actually, on this date back in 1962, the 305th issue of Adventure Comics went on sale on this date back in 1962, 60 years ago today. Sold for 12 cents for 32 pages and featured Superboy, Clark Kent, He-Man, and Legion of Superheroes, The Secret of the Mystery Legionnaire. On this date, 60 years ago today, the 305th issue of Adventure Comics went on sale on this date back in 1962. So with that, let's move on to the next piece of neat history here. As on this date back in 2007, 15 years ago today, The Three Little Pigs, which originally came out in 1933, the Silly Symphony short won a 1934 Academy Award for Best Animated Short of 1933. On this date, back in 2007, it was selected by the National Film Registry, by the Library of Congress, as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. It was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. So on this date, 15 years ago today, Three Little Pigs, a Silly Symphony short, was selected for preservation by the by Library of Congress for the National Film Registry. And finally, one last piece of Nietzsche history. All right. So anyways, on this day in I could have actually done that. Well, that clears that up a little bit better. All right, so that on this date in 2012, 10 years ago today, the second season of Medaka Box Abnormal, finished its run on Tokyo television on this date back in 2012. So 10 years ago today, second season of Medaka Box. Medaka Box Abnormal would finish its run on Japanese television. So with that, guys, I thank you all for being here tonight. Now it's kind of hard with me having all these sinus issues right now. Hopefully it'll clear up soon enough here. Anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Don't forget, of course, I mentioned earlier, this Friday, Rick Piper will be joining me as we conclude our look back at comics that went on sale in July of 1939, as we go over books that went on sale from Quality Comics and United Feature Syndicate. Also, this Sunday, of course, we'll be back to doing the weekend edition. Have my panel on as we go over, we'll probably just be looking at, the past year here, 2022 in review, maybe pick up whatever other stuff we can. And with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. And I hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Bye.